All right, we're about to step into the shadows. We're going to explore those stories that sit right on the edge of myth and, well, something terrifyingly real. These are the legends that feel a little too close for comfort, the ones that make you glance over your shoulder. So, let's get into it.
Seriously, think about it. You know the ones I'm talking about. That story you heard around a campfire or that urban legend you stumbled on late at night online. The details are just so specific, so unsettling, that a little part of your brain can't help but go, wait, what if that actually happened? Well, we're about to look at a few of those.
So, we're going to start with the familiar. The things we grow up with, the things we trust. A classic movie, maybe a favorite video game. Because you see, sometimes the most disturbing secrets are hiding right there in plain sight.
The Wizard of Oz. It's this beautiful, magical film that's been loved by families for, almost a century now? It's the definition of a classic. But what if I told you that behind that Technicolor curtain, the reality of making this movie was an absolute nightmare?
The amount of pure suffering that went into making this magical film is just insane. Get this. The Cowardly Lion's costume, that was a 40-kilogram suit made from a real lion pelt. The first actor hired to be the Tin Man was literally hospitalized because he was inhaling toxic aluminum dust from his makeup. His replacement, he got a severe infection from a supposedly safer paste. And the Wicked Witch's famous green paint, it was copper-based and caused chemical burns. Oh, and she also got actual severe burns from a pyrotechnic stunt gone wrong. Even Dorothy herself was allegedly forced to take pills to stay thin, and she fainted on set so often that it just became normal.
Okay, so let's jump from the silver screen to your computer screen. For anybody who played the super early alpha versions of Minecraft, you know this feeling. You're in this huge, blocky, quiet world, and it's supposed to be completely empty, but you just get this nagging feeling that someone or something is watching you.
For one player, this wasn't just a feeling. Back in a really early build of the game, he started documenting a bunch of bizarre stuff happening in his world. And you have to remember, this version of Minecraft was strictly single player. There was no multiplayer mode. You were supposed to be completely 100% alone.
So, first, this random metal door just appears at the bottom of a lake, a door he knows he didn't build. Then he starts hearing things, like the very specific sound of someone else placing blocks nearby. And finally, he sees it. A figure, just watching him from the fog in the distance. He quickly tells a friend online, who asks him to grab a screenshot, but when he turns back to take the picture, it was just gone.
And that's the part that is so creepy. There was literally no technical way for another player to be in his game. It was impossible. So you have to ask, who or what was building doors, placing blocks, and watching from the fog in a world that was supposed to be totally empty?
All right, so we've been talking about secrets hidden away. Now we're going to shift gears. We're moving from unsettling discoveries to straight-up active encounters. These are stories about people coming face-to-face with things they just could not understand. So, back in the 1990s, there was this hugely popular radio show in Mexico called La Mano Peluda, which translates to the hairy hand. The whole point of the show was for people to call in live on the air and share their real paranormal stories. And one call, back in 1995, has gone down as one of the most disturbing ever. A woman named Clarita called in, and she was absolutely frantic. She was explaining that her son had been playing with a Ouija board, and ever since he'd become aggressive, he wasn't eating, he wasn't sleeping. But then, live on the radio, she describes what she's seeing right at that moment. Her son is levitating, floating about half a meter above his own bed. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, she tells the host about this impossible physical change. Just a few days ago, her 15-year-old son was about 1.6 meters tall, normal height. But as she's on the phone with the host, he's now standing at almost 2 meters tall. I mean, this completely unnatural growth spurt was happening in real time. The call ends with Clarita just screaming in terror. Her last words that she shouted to the host and everyone listening were, "He's walking without touching the ground." And then the line just went dead. Let's jump to another direct encounter. In 1966, over in Point Pleasant, Virginia, the local police department started getting flooded with these frantic phone calls. People from all over the area were reporting seeing the exact same bizarre creature. And the descriptions were all chillingly the same. Witnesses were describing this tall, human-shaped figure with enormous wings,
a kind of rounded head, and, the most disturbing part, two huge, piercing, bright red eyes that seemed to glow in the dark. This creature would soon become known as the Mothman.
And this thing wasn't just standing there watching people. Oh no. One night, two couples were driving down a dark, remote road when they saw it. When they sped up to get away, it unfolded its massive wings and chased their car for miles. They said it easily kept up with them, all while letting out this horrible, high-pitched shriek. They were terrified, and they weren't the only ones who said it chased them.
Okay, for our last section, we're going to the most terrifying place there is. We're talking about stories where people don't just see something monstrous. They step through a door, and they just vanish from reality. So picture this. It's the 1980s, and there's this kids' TV show called Show M. It's one of those shows with friendly people in big animal costumes. And it was incredibly popular. It had a massive fan club. It was a brand that every parent trusted.
The story goes that an official tour for fan club members was announced. A big bus shows up at the meeting point, and it's full of all the costumed characters from the show. The characters invite all the excited kids to get on the bus first, and they tell the parents that a second bus for them is right behind it. So the parents, trusting the show, they wave goodbye as the first bus drives off with their kids. But the second bus? It never arrived. And when the panicked parents started calling the TV station, they got a horrifying response. Show M never had a fan club, and they never, ever organized a tour. The children were just gone.
Weeks later, the story says that one of the fathers got an envelope in the mail, and inside was a photo of his daughter, smiling, standing with another child and one of the rabbit characters from the show. On the back, a little handwritten note just said, "Hi, Dad, I'm very happy. I wish you were here." That was the last time any of the parents ever heard anything. All right, our final story is maybe the most unnerving of them all. It starts on July 26, 2006. Three teenagers decide to go explore an abandoned arcade called Fun World. You know, it's the classic setup for a scary story, but what happened next is just bizarre. So, two of the friends decide to go inside and look around, while the third one just hangs back and waits outside. But minutes turn into hours. There are no calls, no texts, nothing, just silence. Finally, the friend waiting outside gets really worried and decides he has to go in and find them.
He's searching through this dark, creepy arcade, and it's completely empty. His friends are just gone. The only thing he finds is one of their cell phones lying on the floor. He picks it up, unlocks it, and sees there's only one recent photo. It's a picture of this weird door he didn't see anywhere else in the arcade. A door shaped like a giant vertical mouth. And above it, painted on the wall, were the words, "The Smile Room." He immediately calls the police, shows them the picture. But when they get there and investigate the entire arcade, they find nothing. The exact spot where the door from the photo should have been, it was just a solid brick wall. Like the door was never there. The two teenagers were never seen again, and it just leaves you with this chilling question. What happens to the people who walk through doors that aren't supposed to exist?